For 10 years, I've been giving my daughters $300 every month. But when I offered it recently, my daughter and son-in-law said, "Don't make a big deal out of just $300. We don't need your small amount." So I stopped giving them the money as they asked, and they looked shocked. Thinking you're so important just because of $300? I don't care about such a small amount of money. Chuckling, my daughter and her husband looked down on me, hurling harsh words. I've been helping them for 10 years since they told me they were struggling financially, even though they never found steady jobs. I held my tongue and tried to find ways to support them. And what do I get in return? Why did I bother helping them in the first place? I thought someday they would appreciate my efforts and soften their attitude, but that day never came. Isn't it clear now? I can't help but feel angry at them for laughing it off, saying it's not enough or just pennies after I dedicated 10 years of my time and savings to them. I have devoted myself silently to my daughter and her husband, but today that changes. My name is Mark, a homemaker in my 50s. Since my wife passed away, I've been living alone. We have a daughter who moved out after college and now has a family nearby. Though our relationship isn't great, they've been a bit troublesome. After college, my daughter got a job where she met her husband, who became a full-time homemaker after they married. However, less than a year later, my daughter quit her job due to issues with her boss, assuming she'd easily find another. But things didn't go as planned. Despite searching, she struggled to find suitable work and eventually gave up altogether. Her husband didn't show interest in working either, and within months, they faced financial difficulties. To help them, I began sending them a modest $300 each month. They were grateful and thanked me for the support. Every day, I hoped they would overcome their difficulties and become self-sufficient. But now, after 10 years, my monthly $300 isn't appreciated anymore. It's something they feel entitled to receive. For example, one busy month filled with family events, I couldn't find time to meet my daughter and her husband on the usual day I give them their monthly money. Late that night, I heard loud knocks on the door. It was my daughter and her husband. "Dad, we need the money on time. Are you starting to forget things because you're getting older?" My daughter teased. Tired and sleepy from a hectic few days, I replied, "I'll give it to you another time. Please go home for now." Then her husband, his face red with anger, said, "This happens every month. You have to give it on time. Just because you're my wife's father doesn't mean you can behave like this," and he grabbed me by the collar. Shocked by the sudden confrontation, I reluctantly handed over the $300 to my daughter and her husband, which I had prepared earlier. "If you had just given it to us in the first place, this wouldn't have happened. I don't want to resort to physical force with you either," her husband continued. "You should listen to us and behave. Remember, if you ever lose your mind, we'll be the ones taking care of you. It wouldn't hurt to stay on our good side. Right?" Their audacity infuriated me, but I feared that challenging them might cause them to depend on me even more, much like when my daughter quit her job. So swallowing my anger, I smiled, apologized, and did as they demanded. Looking back, I realized I should have stood up for myself then, but my overwhelming desire for them to become self-sufficient left me feeling powerless. The unpleasant memories with them weren't just confined to that day. I received a call from a concerned neighbor. "Mark, can we discuss your daughter and her husband?" "Oh, dear. I apologize. I'll be right there." Apparently, when the neighbor returned from shopping, she noticed signs of a break-in at her place. After checking the security footage, she was shocked to see that the culprits were actually my daughter and her husband. Although her home was ransacked, nothing appeared to be stolen. Knowing about my strained relationship with them, she chose to contact me first. I left work early and reached out to my daughter and her husband. Together, we visited the neighbor to apologize. "I'm truly sorry," I kept repeating, but my daughter and her husband didn't seem remorseful. The neighbor seemed displeased, but things settled down after I agreed to cover the cost of the broken window. However, on the way back home, they said something shocking. "Why are older people so uptight? We just needed to borrow a few things," they remarked. I was so taken aback that all I could manage was, "Like, what?" They continued, not even looking at me. "Sure. We broke a window and made a mess, but we didn't steal anything. Isn't she overreacting?" My daughter simply nodded in agreement. I couldn't comprehend what they were saying and remained silent the entire journey. Watching everything unfold, I should have found the courage to speak up to them instead of being afraid. My silence only showed my weakness. After that incident, I noticed their behavior becoming more aggressive. Thankfully, aside from the neighbor incident, they didn't cause major problems, so I continued to help them, hoping they would become self-sufficient one day. Whenever they asked for something, I bought it if I could afford it. My daughter wanted gadgets to socialize, while her husband desired luxury items to feel on par with others. Their demands kept growing, and they increasingly relied on me for everything. Even on my days off, they called me over for household chores. I worked tirelessly. They wanted more than just money. They lacked the means and motivation to earn for themselves. Thus, I felt obligated to support them. Despite my exhaustion, I remained dedicated to my job and fulfilled their requests, which left me drained. I developed dark circles under my eyes, my skin became rough, and dizziness became a regular issue. My daughter and her husband mocked me, saying, "You look like a mess," and her husband even pointed at me, saying, "He's given up on himself." I didn't have the energy to defend myself against their hurtful words. Deep down, I knew I was reaching my limit, but I felt if I stopped working and helping them, everything would fall apart for all of us. So despite my exhaustion, I kept pushing myself, determined to hold everything together. Honestly, I had wanted to lean on someone and give up a long time ago. One day, while I was doing chores at my daughter's house, a small incident sparked an argument. I was already stressed and tired, so every little thing they did annoyed me. Her husband then made a cutting remark, saying, "You act like $300 is such a big deal." My daughter, influenced by his words, added, "We don't need that measly amount," and handed back the $300 I had given them that day. They scoffed, saying, "If you're going to give us money, make it a decent amount," mocking and looking down on me. Those words sparked something inside me. I then blurted out, "I'll stop. I won't think about the future or your feelings anymore." They both flipped, puzzled, as I began packing my things to leave, but soon they burst out laughing. "Come on, Dad. Quit playing around. If we left you, you'd be all alone. You wouldn't have the courage to live without your precious daughter and her husband," my daughter mocked. "Mark, since when did you become such a joker? That wasn't funny at all. You had me worried for a moment there," her husband chimed in. They thought I was just venting frustration and not serious about ending the financial support. They continued to mock me. "If you've got the courage, go ahead and leave," they challenged. "But if you do, we'll cut ties with you. Think you can handle being all alone? You'll regret those words soon enough. Your stubborn dad could never do something like that. Right?" I felt completely cornered by their words, yet they continued to treat me poorly. I started questioning what I was gaining from supporting them, buying them things they wanted, doing their chores. Wasn't I just being used and taken advantage of? It felt like they were exploiting my kindness, treating me like a servant even when I was at my breaking point. They might be family by blood, but their behavior made it hard to see them that way.